Here's what happened. Round 16 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Sweden at Uddevalla. Jorge Prado with his 13th foxhole shot of the season, closely followed by Darian Sinai. But as the lap started to sort itself out, Julian Lieber got himself in the second, with Jeremy Seaworth third, Conrad Muse fourth, but then he got passed by Pauls Jonas. As the championship leader made that move to go fourth, he pushed Muse down to fifth. Jeremy Seaworth made a mistake whilst in second, and he almost got caught there by Jonas. Julian Lieber had 3 crashes in the race. He crashed out of second and then fourth, and eventually came home in 13th place. The rain started to fall at one point, but in the end, Prado came home to take his 3rd win of the season from Seaworth and Jonas. Jonas almost threw away the opportunity of 3rd with that moment towards the end of the race. He just hung on from Conrad Muse. MXGP race 1. This time it was Evgeny Bobashev with his first foxhole shot of 2017. To the outside of him was Gauthier Paulin and the fast-starting Romain Fevre, who went from 3rd to 2nd and to 1st with that move around Bobashev. His teammate was right there in 3rd at that point, as Fevre looked to try and make a break for it at the head of the field, but he threw away the lead at the start of lap 2, went down to 12th, and would have to fight his way back to 6th. Tim Geiss then was the new leader. Koldenhoff was in 2nd, Paulin jumped into 3rd, and then went after the Red Bull KTM rider. Hurlings was right there as well, always threatening. He found his way past his teammate, and then went after Paulin for 2nd place. Couldn't do anything about Geiser though. Tony Cairoli was in 9th. He tried to find his way down the inside of Van Horbig. It all went wrong for the championship leader, but it was a win for the 7th time this year for Tim Geiser. Hurlings and Paulin, your top 3. MX2 race 2, and once again it was that rider, number 61 on the Red Bull KTM, Jorge Prado, with his 14th whole shot of the season, closely followed by his teammate this time around. There was jostling for position as Jonas and Covington battled. That allowed Seaworth into 2nd. Julian Lieber crashed out hard from 9th on the opening lap. He would not finish the race. Change of the lead happened on lap 6. Jeremy Seaworth charged around the outside of Prado. He was swiftly followed through by Suzuki World MX2 teammate Hunter Lawrence. A lap later, Prado was all of a sudden pushing down the order. Covington was next. Got himself into 3rd with that move on the Spaniard. Pauls Jonas also followed his teammate and was frustrated for times, had to make an aggressive move to get himself up into 4th. Covington was on a charge, but further down the field, his teammate was up there in 4th place. But Hunter Lawrence fell from 2nd and eventually came home in 6th. But on the last lap down the hill, Covington made that pass on Seaworth. The gap as they hit the line was 0.055 seconds in Covington's favour to take his 4th race win of the year from Seaworth and Jonas. But the podium, though, it was Seaworth, Prado and Jonas. Seaworth taking his 5th win of the year, his 12th podium in 2017. The gap now, though, 45 points between Pauls Jonas and Jeremy Seaworth. Benoit Paturel is still 3rd. Didn't have the best weekend with the Khmer Yamaha rider. Of course, Pauls Jonas then a 45-point advantage as we head to the USGP in 2 weeks' time.
I have to say Thomas rode an awesome race. I mean, he was just stuck behind my teammate, and that's why he took a while till he could go for it. But he was just really quick in those last laps because I wasn't getting tired and I still gave all I had, but it wasn't enough, you know.
MXGP race 2. This time it was Romain Fevre with his 4th foxhole shot of the season, closely followed by Jeffrey Hurlings, Tim Geiser, Max Nagel, Gauthier Paulin, Glenn Koldenhoff. Before the end of the first lap, though, Geiser was all over the back of Fevre. Hurlings was there in 3rd, Paulin in 4th, Van Horbig in 5th. Geiser got more than close to Fevre as he challenged early on for his share of the points. Hurlings got himself into 3rd. He started to lose ground to Geiser. Then Geiser made a mistake, lost 2nd to the bullet, but then a couple of corners later, Hurlings' race was done. He came out of a left, over a jump, he landed, and he lost a chain. And that would have dire consequences in terms of the overall championship classification. He gained 10 points on his teammate Jeffrey Hurling's Tony Cairoli in the first race, but those points would all come undone after race 2. Fevre battled with Geiser, who then caught backmarker traffic in the closing stages of the race. Fevre would go on to win for the first time since June the 5th, 2016, which was moto number 2 at his home Grand Prix in France. Geiser was second, Paulin was third, Dessau fourth, and Koldenhoff came home in fifth. The overall classification, though, Tim Geiser with his 15th career victory, Fevre second, his first podium since Switzerland 2016, and back-to-back podiums now for Gauthier Paulin. But Tony Cairoli now has a 101-point advantage over Jeffrey Hurling's when we go to America in 2 weeks' time. It's tight as well behind them. 4 points further back is Paulin, with Dessau in fourth, just 7 points further back. Cairoli then, 101 points clear. He could wrap up the title in the US next time out.
Yeah, really happy, like I mentioned before. Second one was, yeah, it was nice. You know, we battled all the race with Roman, almost make a pass, but then last couple of laps I get the overall, so didn't push too much. So yeah, I'm just so happy. You know, just again, just want to say huge thanks to everyone.